Now, Logan, the team that did end up winning the AFC South, stealing it from under the Jags' noses, that would be the Houston Texans, led by C.J. Stroud, who was the best quarterback in the division this year. Whatever you think going forward, he outplayed T-Law this year, regardless of circumstances. Is he stamped as the best rookie quarterback ever?
Nerd Sesh, quick stats break. C.J. Stroud.
Yes.
Only 11 quarterbacks have started 13 or more games in their rookie campaign and led their team to the playoffs. Ben Roethlisberger, Kyle Orton, Mark Sanchez, Andy Dalton, Matt Ryan, Joe Flacco, Andrew Luck, Robert Griffin III, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott. I can't count. This is 12 quarterbacks. Mac Jones. C.J. Stroud. He is one of 9 quarterbacks to go from worst to first. That's something that I really want to emphasize here. To not only lead your team to the playoffs as a rookie, super impressive. To go from dead last in your division to first is insane. That list is Orton, Ryan, Flacco, Dalton, Luck, Griffin III, Prescott, and CJ. CJ had the second most passing yards per game by a rookie outside of Justin Herbert with 273 per game. Herbert had 289, and he had the 5th most passing touchdowns by a rookie with 25. I think when you look at the totality of the resume, it has to be C.J. Stroud. Especially, we prefaced the Jaguars segment with Trevor Lawrence's expectations. The Texans' expectations in this season, I think if they won 5 to 6 games and C.J. looked good, this would have been a good year. You fired everybody. You cleaned house. We got a new head coach. We got a new quarterback. I mean, this is a franchise that hit the nuke button. They hit the reset button. We were blowing everything up. And in the first year, you go to from worst to first. It's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, the circumstances are everything. Not a great offensive line. Not an overwhelmingly great defense. Not great receiving talent. And C.J. Stroud comes here and handles business. I do think Stroud has the benefit of playing with Bobby Slowick, a great offensive mind, offensive coordinator. Yep. I think that is a huge benefit to such a young player. But, this defense plays tough. They've been pretty good most of the year. C.J. Stroud has been one of the 10 best quarterbacks in football. It's remarkable. And again, if you look at these other guys, Carson, I can't think of a more impressive quarterback to me. The closest guy would be Andrew Luck, because when you include everything to me, circumstances, what he did, he takes over a 2-14 team. Now, granted, I think it is again worth mentioning when Peyton Manning left that team, they were 12-win. That's the difference of Peyton Manning or maybe they went 14. I mean, Peyton covered up holes on that team, but Andrew Luck brought them from 2 wins to 11 back to the playoffs. He's the only one to me that really holds a candle. And again, that's a different situation. That's a contending team with a good quarterback. The Texans weren't even close and have done it. And I have to think if you're the Carolina Panthers, you have to be. David Tepper has to be absolutely fuming that he stepped in there and made the wrong decision, that his guys wanted C.J. Stroud. You could have been the team. Because, again, this is unheard of. That's why I always thought that David Tepper being so upset that the Panthers aren't great immediately. These things take time. It takes 3 to 4 years to get a team. Take a look at the Bills, where they came from with Josh Allen. From Tyrod Taylor and Shady to building up. It takes years normally. The Texans did it in 1. It's remarkable. It's outstanding. I've never seen anything like it in all my years of watching football. Unequivocally, to me, C.J. Stroud is the best rookie quarterback I've ever seen.
I agree with you. I do want to give some props to the Houston Texans outside of CJ, though, because although I totally agree with you, the expectations were low. This was a team that was supposed to be in that Carolina tier. They were plus 800 just to win their own division, Logan, by far the longest odds. Their win total over-under before the year was 5.5. They were viewed as a bottom-tier football team. I just don't want to push everybody else down to prop CJ up, because there are other things that went right here. This did turn out to be a good defense, and they have hit on a big way in their last 2 really high first rounders outside of CJ. Derek Stingley was awesome this year. Will Anderson, absolutely props to them for going out, being aggressive, getting their guy on that side of the ball as well. He's really good. D'Amico, I think, is just an awesome defensive coach. They put together a good pass rush. And so they were consistently above average on that side of the ball. And then the receiving core, no, it's not great. And what was so impressive is that when we held him up against the other guys at the top of the league in terms of passing efficiency, yards per attempt, stuff like that. It was Brock Purdy playing with this absolutely absurdly loaded supporting cast. It was Tua with one of the best receiving tandems we've ever seen. And then it was CJ with these young, unproven receivers. Wildly impressive. Those receivers turned out to be pretty damn good on their own, though. Like Nico Collins, the dude is big, he's athletic, he's got great hands. Tank Dell obviously got hurt late in the year, but he was a freak athlete out there. So, like, yes, CJ elevated those guys. CJ is so damn good already. But I also think that the receiving core, and even like other guys, Noah Brown, Dalton Schultz, like it ended up being a solid room. I think better than maybe how those names looked on paper before the year. But he's just the man. He's just the man. You mentioned that he's second all time in passing yards per game by a rookie. He's also second in yards per attempt post-merger. The hilarious note that I will include here is that if you don't set a game minimums, then Nick Mullen is actually above him. Nick Mullins is above him on both of these lists.
Yeah.
That's a Kyle Shanahan stat, bro. Kyle Shanahan is unbelievable. But he also had the lowest interception percentage in the league this year, while he is already up there for the best deep ball thrower in the league. And even if his weapons were underrated, it's not like he waltzed into offensive heaven here. Like, he is so clearly the driving force in this team's success. And I compare him to Herbert. I think what Luck did was awesome. The guy did turn the ball over a lot. I think that Herbert was more polished. He had these outstanding physical tools, and he did turn the team around. I mean, they were good. They just weren't quite playoff good. Their offense was great. Their defense sucked. Story of Herbert's life. But I think the separator for me is that CJ did get them to the playoffs, and he did that with some unbelievable clutch moments. This game, a win and you're in scenario. On that final drive, dude, he has that crazy touch throw backpedaling on 2nd and 14. Could set up a 3rd and long. He makes a big play happen. Then, shortly after, it's a 2nd and 13. He is getting nailed. Can't step into the throw. Puts it right on the money to set up that touchdown. He hangs in the pocket. He makes big time throws. And when he needs to use his legs, he does it well. But the guy just pushes the ball downfield, and he doesn't blink. He is so ready for the moment as a rookie. That in the Bucs game, like the clutch performance of the year, arguably the quarterback performance of the year, that is absurd composure, and that is absurd big-time creation with your arm talent and with your pocket presence for a rookie. So this is a special year in terms of individual production, in terms of team success, in terms of the talent, the poise. Everything that we saw from CJ this year was an A+. And when you are talking about the quarterbacks you want to have to build your franchise around, I think that you go, for me at least, Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, and then I think that it's Herbert. I still think he has more physical tools. And then it's Stroud for me. He's in that top 5. Like, this dude is so good already, and I think he's only going to get better.
Ooh. We get back to the classic T-Law Stroud debate.
I think CJ, who I had one spot below T-Law in my quarterback rankings that we did a couple weeks ago, rookie CJ was just better over the course of this season than third-year T-Law.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that completely. I would take Burrow, too. Burrow has injury concerns. That is important to note. But, yeah, I'm with you. Burrow, Herbert, T-Law, and then Stroud for me.